Love is often painted as a beautiful fairy tale, but the truth is much darker. Did you know that nearly 40% of couples experience emotional abuse at some point in their relationship? Or that 1 in 3 people report feeling lonely even when they are in a relationship? These shocking statistics reveal a side of love that many avoid discussing. In this video, we'll dive deep into the hidden struggles that often go unnoticed. From the loneliness that can linger in even the closest partnerships to the fear of being vulnerable, love isn't always the fairy tale we expect. Get ready to uncover the toxic attachments and unrealistic sacrifices that can creep into our relationships. We'll share powerful strategies to help you break free from these patterns and build a healthier, happier love life. Are you ready to explore the dark side of love? Let's shine a light on what really happens behind the scenes in relationships. Chapter 1: The hidden loneliness and togetherness. Being in a relationship doesn't always mean you'll feel connected. In fact, many people report feeling lonely even when they're with someone. A survey from the University of California revealed that nearly 62% of people in relationships had moments where they felt emotionally isolated. Why is that? Sometimes, we confuse physical closeness with emotional intimacy. You can sit beside someone every night but feel miles apart emotionally. This happens when partners stop truly engaging with each other. The demands of daily life, work, kids, social media, can make it easy to drift apart. To counter this, practicing mindful connection is key. Set aside dedicated time to be fully present with your partner. This means no phones, no distractions, just real conversations. Even 15 minutes a day can help you feel closer. Another strategy is sharing your inner world. Talk about your fears, dreams, or what's been on your mind lately. Studies show that couples who share personal thoughts regularly feel more connected. An interesting fact: couples who laugh together are 80% more likely to stay together, according to a study from the University of Kansas. Humor can bridge emotional gaps, so don't underestimate the power of laughing over shared memories or silly moments. Keep the conversation light sometimes, it helps create a safe space for deeper talks later. Chapter 2: Love's Silent Saboteur. The fear of vulnerability. One of the biggest barriers to true connection is the fear of vulnerability. You might love your partner, but you still hesitate to show your true self. Why? Because vulnerability feels risky. But without it, love becomes surface level. According to Brené Brown, vulnerability researcher and author of Daring Greatly, vulnerability is the birthplace of love, belonging, joy, courage, empathy, and creativity. When we fear being judged, rejected, or misunderstood, we withhold parts of ourselves. This creates emotional walls that prevent genuine closeness. A good strategy to overcome this is to start small. Share something with your partner that you wouldn't normally talk about. It could be an old fear, a past regret, or even a childhood story you've never told them. The key is to let yourself be seen, little by little. You'll notice that when you open up, your partner might follow suit, deepening your bond. Also, practice active listening when your partner shares something vulnerable. Respond with empathy rather than advice. Just being heard can create a powerful sense of connection. Remember, vulnerability is a two-way street. When you offer it, you're likely to get it in return. Chapter 3: Emotional Invisibility. When love fades without warning. Sometimes love doesn't die in a dramatic breakup. It fades quietly, unnoticed. One partner starts feeling emotionally invisible. They might not even realize it at first. They just feel a little less important, a little more ignored. In fact, one study by the Gottman Institute found that couples who stopped acknowledging each other's emotions were 80% more likely to grow distant. The little things like asking about their day or responding to their frustrations might seem minor, but they play a huge role in keeping love alive. So, what's the strategy here? It's simple: pay attention. Small, daily gestures like checking in on each other emotionally can make a big difference. Psychologists often recommend the 5-to-1 rule: for every negative interaction, aim for 5 positive ones. This helps keep emotional deposits in your relationship's bank account. Here's another tactic: use reflective listening. When your partner shares something, repeat back what you heard in your own words. For example, "It sounds like work has been really stressful for you." This shows you're listening and that you care. It also helps your partner feel validated, which can prevent that feeling of emotional invisibility. Another way to reignite a fading connection is to plan something new together. Novelty boosts dopamine, the brain chemical associated with love and excitement. Whether it's a new hobby, vacation, or even cooking a new recipe together, shared experiences can reignite lost passion. If you're finding value in these insights, don't forget to subscribe for more tips on navigating the complexities of love and relationships. Chapter 4: Toxic Attachment. When love becomes a cage, love should feel freeing, not suffocating. Yet, many people find themselves trapped in toxic attachments. This happens when love turns into dependency or control. According to psychologist Dr. Lisa Firestone, toxic love happens when one partner's emotional needs override the other's boundaries and individuality. It's easy to confuse this for passion, but in reality, it drains the relationship. So, how can you break free from this cycle? One powerful strategy is to focus on building emotional independence. That means keeping your own identity outside of the relationship. Having hobbies, friends, and interests that are separate from your partner is essential. A study by the University of Buffalo showed that couples who maintained individuality reported higher satisfaction levels in their relationship. It's also important to set clear boundaries. Talk openly about what feels controlling or overwhelming. For example, if constant check-ins from your partner feel suffocating, have a conversation about trust and space. Boundaries aren't walls, they're tools to protect the love between you. Another useful technique is practicing self-love. When you value yourself, you're less likely to allow toxic dynamics to take root. The classic book The Road Less Traveled by M. Scott Peck emphasizes that love is an action, not just a feeling. Loving yourself first is an important action that makes healthy love with another person possible. Chapter 5: The Illusion of Sacrifice. Giving too much and losing yourself. It's common to hear that relationships require sacrifice. And yes, some compromise is necessary, but sacrificing too much can lead to losing your identity. In fact, psychologist Dr. Terry Orbuch found that 67% of couples who divorced reported that one partner had given up too much of themselves in the relationship. When you lose yourself, resentment starts to build. So, how do you strike the balance between giving and maintaining your own sense of self? First, focus on creating an equal partnership. A healthy relationship should feel balanced. Make sure both of you are contributing to the relationship emotionally, mentally, and even practically. It shouldn't feel like one person is carrying the entire weight of the relationship. One strategy is to practice self-reflection regularly. Ask yourself, am I still doing the things I love? Am I growing as an individual? If the answer is no, it might be time to reassess how much you're sacrificing. A 2018 study from the Journal of Marriage and Family showed that couples who encouraged each other's personal growth were more likely to stay together. Also, communicate your needs. Often, people sacrifice too much because they're afraid to voice their desires. It's important to remember that asking for what you need isn't selfish. It's essential for maintaining balance. As Esther Perel, a renowned therapist, says in her book Mating in Captivity, the happiest couples are those who allow each other the freedom to be individuals while being together. Chapter 6: Happiness Myths. The false promises of happily ever after. We've all been sold the idea of happily ever after. But this myth can set unrealistic expectations for relationships. No relationship is perfect, and expecting it to be can cause unnecessary pressure. According to a study by the American Psychological Association, couples who believed in the soulmate concept were 25% more likely to experience dissatisfaction in their relationships. The truth is, relationships require constant work and adaptation. The strategy here is to shift your mindset. Instead of chasing perfection, focus on progress. Relationships are about growing together, not achieving a static state of happiness. One way to do this is to set realistic expectations. Talk with your partner about the challenges you both face, and work on solutions together. Couples who actively solve problems rather than sweep them under the rug are more likely to stay happy long term. A survey by the Gottman Institute found that 69% of relationship conflicts are perpetual. This means they're ongoing issues, but couples can still be happy if they learn to manage these problems constructively. It's also helpful to redefine happiness. Instead of aiming for constant bliss, aim for moments of joy, connection, and peace. Embrace the idea that ups and downs are normal. As Elanda Button writes in The Course of Love, love is a skill, not just an emotion. Learning how to handle the inevitable rough patches is part of the journey to real happiness. If you found these insights valuable, be sure to subscribe for more content on love and relationships. Join us as we continue to explore the complexities of love and how to build stronger connections.